Hello and welcome to Motors for the Masses, and today I have to ask myself a very important question. So let's roll the intro and get cracking. So what is that question? Well, as some of you may or may not know, my main four-wheel transport is a 2016 Ford Ranger 3.2 diesel. Bit of a gimmick truck, don't really use it for what it's supposed to be used for, apart from when we went to Wales, so not very often. And yes, it stands out, yes it looks cool, and yes it's quite large, but I don't use the back. So it's pretty pointless. And I've had it 3 years, and I think it's time to move on. So the important question is, the world is going electric. Now, do I go electric? Well, I've been over to have a look at a couple of vehicles, one being the brand new Honda E electric and the brand new Hyundai Ioniq 5 electric. So as you can see, they are both very nice cars, but they're bigger than I imagined. Now the Ioniq 5 I thought was going to be just like a small little coupe hatchback type thing, but it isn't. It's actually quite large. I would put it on the same sort of scale as a Volvo XC60, possibly just a bit lower, not quite high between the body and the wheels. And the Honda E I thought was going to be the same sort of size as my wife's Mini Cooper, but it's not, it's bigger than that. So I had to go and see them in person. So this is what I thought of them. Now at this stage I haven't been able to drive them because it's just an initial interest. Do I take the plunge and go for these things? So here are some facts and figures and pictures and information about the cars and what I think of them. So first of all, let's do like a little top trump style, and I'll throw in some pictures to show the differences between them. So the Honda E has a usable range, a realistic range of around 120 miles, whereas the Ioniq 5 has a usable realistic range of around 250 miles, so twice as much. Now obviously there is a bigger battery on there. The home charge rate for the Honda E is around 6 hours, so it should recharge in about 6 hours using the home charger. That costs about £750 to have installed, whereas the Ioniq 5 has a home charger time of around 8 to 10 hours. However, if you use one of those fast chargers that you find in motorway service stations, that sort of thing, the Honda E will charge to 80% in about 30 minutes, whereas the Ioniq 5 will charge to 80% in around 20 minutes. The prices for each. Now, the Honda E starts from just over £28,000, and the advanced model goes up to £34,000. The Ioniq 5 starts at £37,000 and goes up to £52,000, so quite a bit of difference. Now, if you didn't want to go for that extra charger and you wanted to save a bit of money and just plug it into your socket at home, you can do that, but the Honda E will take about 24 hours to charge, and the Ioniq 5 will take about 48 hours to charge. So possibly not a very good option, unless of course you only use your vehicle twice a week. Brilliant. So the Honda has an equivalent of around 154 horsepower, whereas the Ioniq has around 220 I think it was horsepower, something like that. So it has quite a bit more power, again because obviously it's got bigger batteries. Now one big difference is where the Honda E has an 8-year 100,000 mile warranty on the battery. It has a 3-year vehicle warranty. The Ioniq 5 has a 5-year unlimited mileage battery and car warranty, so they sort of equal each other out. Now the big difference is what you get inside. The size of the vehicle is the bigger factor here, and also the colour options, and I'll tell you what I mean. So let's start with the boot. Now the Honda has a very small boot. It's not very big, 115 litres I believe. It's not a big boot at all. The seats can go down, but they don't split 60-40. It's just the seats are down or up. It does make it bigger, but then of course you've got no rear seat. Whereas the Ioniq 5 has a massive boot and oodles of legroom in the back. It's such a big car inside, and that is a massive factor for me. I do like the amount of space you get in the Ioniq, so that's one plus for the Ioniq at the moment. Rear seat legroom, you are a little bit cramped in the back in the Honda E, but of course I'm an adult and I would only be using it to have a child in the back in a car seat. Whereas in the Ioniq 5, again, masses of space, which means the DVD player that is going to be on the headrest is not going to be as close as it would be in the Honda, as well as in the boot. So you've got lots of space basically, and I do like that. Again, another plus for the Ioniq. Ease of getting in and out, obviously because of that space, the Ioniq is easier to get in and out of. And then up the front here, now the driving position, there's not a massive amount of difference. It is of course smaller on the Honda E, but it looks fantastic. I love the look of the dash. I love the way the dash goes all the way across the front. And what you can do is you can have the sat nav on the right hand side, or if you want to move it across, you can say push the sat nav over to the left and have the stereo on the right and things like that. Have the clock in front of you. I like that. And these mirrors, I mean, you've got these fantastic mirrors on the outside, and on the inside is little cameras, and they look brilliant. So it's a camera mirror, not a traditional mirror, and they just look fantastic. A great little gadget. I love that. Looks fantastic. On the Ioniq, again, you've got this big screen here. The sat nav is definitely bigger, and I like that. A big dash, nice and clear. Traditional mirrors, but that's not a big problem. I don't mind mirrors. I can handle those. Space, of course, again, you've got more space in the Ioniq for the passenger and the driver, and it looks brilliant. I love it. Very clean. You've got a lot more room in the middle where you can put your cup holders and stuff like that, or you can put your cup in the cup holders, and I do like it a lot, very much. And again, I think it's a draw. I'd say one for the Honda E because it looks so bloody awesome, and one for the Ioniq because it's more spacious and it's just as cool. One plus for the Honda E is the use of gadgets. You've got a camera for the rear, so the rear view mirror can just be flicked forward and turn into a rear camera. Quite cool, but I suppose you could argue not necessary. It's just another cool gadget to have. Styling wise, I love the look of the Honda E. It's probably the only car I've seen that looks just like the concept, with a couple of small tweaks on the front end and the wheel size. And I don't think the wheel arches are as wide as they were on the concept, which I prefer, but there you go. The Ioniq, again, I love that weird angular look. I love the digital square lights and the digital square lights on the back. The headlights look awesome. The rear lights look awesome. I love that sort of squatty look at the front there. Now, to me, that reminds me of the Alpha SZ. Don't know if anyone can remind that. If not, I'll sling a picture up here. See what I mean? With this little slot for an eye. I love that. Looks brilliant. However, the Honda E has these fantastic little lights at the back there and at the front. Nice little round lights. Makes it look cute, but awesome cute, if you know what I mean. It's not girly cute. It's like, oh, look at that. That is amazing. Kind of cute. A big plus for me for the Honda E is the colour range. Okay, you only get 5, this white and like a mid blue, a pale blue, a dark metallic blue, and the yellow. I love the yellow. The yellow is brilliant. Whereas the Ioniq, you get sort of pastel grey, pastel green, which is sort of matte green, olive green, which is actually brown, so I don't know what that's about, and sort of a grey and a silvery grey and a black grey and a sort of whitey grey. It's all a bit sort of meh. And apparently gold, which this colour of this car is. That's not gold, it's sort of silvery beige. So that's a big plus for the Honda there, the colour. And I like things that stand out, things that are a bit wacky, a bit wild. And the colour range there is phenomenal. Love that. And the colours on the Ioniq are boring. If anything, I'd probably go for the sort of dark green, because it's the only one that isn't sort of pastely boring. But if they offered an option where to say, look, we're going to build your car, you can have it any colour you want, as long as it's a Hyundai colour, I could choose from all these. And I love the orange, or the sort of tangerine orange, which is actually gold, or the vitamin C, which is sort of bronze, or this sort of aquamarine colour, love that. There's loads of colours to choose from, not just these boring matte pastel-y colours. Both of them have these cool handles where they sort of sit flush with the vehicle, and then they push open and you can open them quite easily. So I like both them. There's a point each for those. They work very nicely for me. I don't know which I prefer. I think I prefer the Ioniq, but it is a lot more money, but it is bigger, yet it's a bit boring to look at. Not angular-wise, colour-wise. But it has more features, but you pay more money for that. It's such a hard decision to make. Okay, so let's sum up with some features. Now, this is the Honda E, this is the Hyundai Ioniq. So, the Honda E is cheaper. That's a plus. The Ioniq and the Honda are equally as awesome looking, but the Honda E has the edge, I think. I'm not going to give it an extra point. The room inside, the Ioniq definitely wins on that front. The range, the Ioniq definitely wins on that front. The colour options, the Honda E wins on that front. Size, again, even though it's bigger inside, which I gave it a point for, the Honda E is easier to manoeuvre and looks really cool. The range, did I say the range? I think I did. I've lost count now. I don't know what to choose. I'll tell you what, let me know in the comment section below which you think is the better vehicle, the Honda E or the Ioniq, taking into account the price, the size, the features, the colour options, what you get for your money, everything like that. Or if there's anything else that is in the running, let me know that as well, taking into account the price. And please don't say the Jaguar I-Pace, because although I like that, it's just too expensive. So taking into account the price, now bearing in mind I am looking at the lower level of these, although the upper level Honda would mean I could get the lower level Ioniq. Oh, and talking about the differences between them. Now, the reason why I would go for the lower level vehicles, so which means 28 grand for the Honda and 37 for the Ioniq. The reason I go for the lower level vehicles is because the upper echelon vehicles are only electronic gadgetry, and it's stuff that I wouldn't use. Self-parking, no thanks. If you can't park a vehicle, you shouldn't have passed your test in the first place. Lane assist, no thanks, telling you or moving you physically back into the lane if you go over the white line. You're all right. Adjusting where you are with the car in front, no thanks, I'll do that myself. I like to drive, I don't need any of that nonsense gadgetry. So I don't need that, and that's the only thing you really get extra. All the other stuff you get as standard. So the only thing you get extra is all that nonsense gadgetry that I really don't want or personally need. Some people might like it, not for me. So taking that into account, which do you think would be the better vehicle? Is there another one in the pipeline? And also bearing in mind, I love quirky nuts vehicles, and that's what these two are. So please let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. It's been a different video today, but I thought I'd share with you my journey on moving on from the truck and going electric. So I look forward to hearing from you. Next time we're back with something else, bike, car related, not sure. We'll find out in the next video, you and I. So thank you for joining me, and thank you for your future comments. Please like and subscribe this video and share it as well. If you have anything else to say, please leave that in the comment section below. If you would like to support this channel, you can do so through Patreon and through our Facebook merchandise shop. Again, links in the description below. And that's all I have to say. So until next time, please ride and drive carefully, but have fun. Bye-bye.